Many of us fear the sensations of hunger, associating them with deprivation or restriction. But actually, mild hunger is just a reminder of a basic bodily function, rather like needing to pee. I want to show you how embracing mild hunger offers a gateway to eating more in tune with your body and being more flexibly in control around food. If you avoid getting hungry, like I did for years, you'll love the insights into your own eating that understanding hunger gives you. In this video, I'm going to show you why we feel hungry and what hunger is, and remind you of its evolutionary purpose. I'll explain how hunger signals work, and particularly I'll show you how hunger signals are switched on and off. That's a really useful thing to use when you want to eat more in tune with your appetite and lose weight. And I'll show you how you can use this knowledge for your own health and well-being using the appetite pendulum and putting it into practice. And I'll explain exactly how to do that. And then finally, I'll have a word at the end about intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating and how that relates to hunger. So let's start with what hunger actually is. It's a biological process that swings into action once we've finished digesting our last meal. Its evolutionary purpose is to orient us away from other things towards seeking out food. Whilst extreme hunger is of course a threat to life, mild hunger is absolutely no danger. On the contrary, it has real benefits. It supports weight loss. It gives your body a rest from digestion between meals so that your body can switch to other functions like cell repair and gut cleaning. It allows your taste perception to develop so that your next food tastes better. And it can help you to develop a greater sense of being in control around food and eating. Let's look at how hunger signals work. First of all, they're not a simple on and off switch. Hunger increases over time since your last meal, and it's a gradual thing. But it doesn't just keep rising. Something that's really helpful to know is the signal that we experience as hunger is the body's way of telling the brain that we've used up the food from the last meal and we're having to switch to using stored energy, which, putting it simply, means starting to burn a bit of fat. If you're trying to lose weight, that's exactly what you want to be happening. So bingo, tolerating mild hunger means that you are actually allowing your body to burn a bit of stored fat. So what this means in practice is that we experience hunger, and then if we tolerate the mild hunger, quite quickly those signals are turned off for that very reason, that our body has now got some energy to use, so it doesn't need to be getting us to eat. So this simple bit of understanding that the signals are temporary, they come in phases, so it's phasic. It's not that hunger rises inexorably and you're having to, it's not like a white knuckle ride. It's about tolerating gentle levels of hunger. And I'll explain how you do that now using the appetite pendulum. So if you look at the appetite pendulum, hunger signals are the negative numbers on the pendulum from -1 to -5. My suggestion with the appetite pendulum is that you space your meals so that you arrive at each meal definitely hungry, and that you tolerate the mild hunger that builds before the point of being definitely hungry, so that you're not getting overly hungry, you're not getting to -4 or -5, but you are getting to the point of definite hunger with all those benefits that I mentioned earlier. So in practice, whenever you think of eating, just pause and tune in to where you are on the appetite pendulum right now. If you're -3, then it's time to eat. Either you're about to arrive at a meal time, or if you've got to -3 and it's between meal times, then you need a snack to tide you over. And trial and error will mean that you can learn what snack and what amount is going to keep you going for the amount of time until your next meal. If you aren't yet at -3, then, but you're thinking of eating, then notice that you're not yet at -3 and distract yourself onto anything. It doesn't matter what you do, however trivial, anything other than eating. And as you notice that you're feeling mildly hungry, -1 or -2, and you're not going to be eating right now, distract yourself and maybe bring to mind the what might be quite helpful thought, which is that actually now you are burning a little bit of fat. So this is supporting weight loss if that's what you're aiming to achieve. So just remind yourself that the hunger will pass and absorb yourself in an activity, and then you can just get on with your day. Also, I'd encourage you to avoid getting overly hungry. If you're -4 or -5, you're going to be under increasing pressure to eat. The signals are going to get stronger and more intense, and you're going to find it harder to ignore them. A bit like needing to pee. If you wait and wait and the signals get stronger, eventually you can't think of anything other than finding a toilet. So it's a bit like that with hunger. As the hunger intensifies, if you don't eat when you're definitely hungry and you're trying to restrain eating, it's not really helpful for most of us. It often backfires, because the more hungry we get, the more our brains are under pressure to get us to find food. After all, that's the whole purpose of these signals. Learning to respond to mild hunger differently or develop any other eating skills can be challenging if you're doing it on your own. So if you want my professional help with this, feel free to click on the link in the description. Just a word about intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating. If you're using intermittent fasting, where you've got an extended period of time when you're not eating, and then a particular window during the day when you are eating, you may find that this suits you really well. Some people find that time-restricted eating like this with an extended overnight fast is surprisingly easy for them. They don't miss eating early in the morning, and they find it easy to push back the first meal of the day until much later than usual. Of course, that's partly to do with being asleep during those periods of mild hunger. You might have been dreaming about food, but it's no big deal. So if that's true for you, then intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating, the maybe 16-8 window might really work for you. On the other hand, some people really struggle with time-restricted eating and find the experience is largely one of deprivation. If this applies to you, if it feels like you're just battling quite intense levels of hunger, time-restricted eating is perhaps not for you. In that case, you might find that using the appetite pendulum and tolerating mild hunger but not allowing yourself to get overly hungry might really suit you. One caveat to talking about hunger is that if you feel hungry all the time, whether you've eaten or not, then I would suggest you talk to your doctor or another health professional, because you might need to have some other approaches to help you regulate your appetite signals. So thank you for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, please remember to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone else who might benefit. In my next video, I describe the 5 types of non-hungry eating that I discovered as I was developing appetite retraining. And in doing that, I help you to drill down into which types of non-hungry eating are relevant to you and how to overcome them.